peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition of the Realities Temple on Earth. Your host is his divine masculine brother AdMinister Taalik Ibn'rad.
In his mind and his militancy is what attracted me to our national chairman. So let's bring on a bold, strong, powerful black man, the national chairman, the national minister of the new Black Panther Party for self-defense, Dr. and Minister Khalid. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Black power.
Giving honor to Almighty God, and we should begin every event asking divine blessings and the divine grace and the divine praise of Almighty God. Of course, we understand that God answers to many names. Some call that God the Lord of Lords and the God of Gods and the King of Kings, the King of Men. Some call that God Yahweh, Jehovah, Elohim. Some call that God Lord God Almighty. In some parts of the earth they call that God Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. In another part of the earth, in one part of Africa, that God is called Chuku, Chuku. In another part of Africa, that God is called Oludumare, Babaluaye, Obatula, Shango, Yemonya, Oshun, Ogun. In another part of Africa, that one God is called Unkulunkulu. And when we say Unkulunkulu, we hold up in that southern region of Africa one finger to say that there is but one God. In another part of Africa, in Egypt or Kemet, we say Amen or Ibn'rad. We say Ptah. We say Nut. In every phase of expression of this God, both in the masculine and in the feminine, because there is no God unless there is goddess, because man and woman are twin halves of the same divine essence.
All right.
We are honored to have you here today, and I must remain true to the foundation on which I stand. So I must open in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, for raising up in our midst a divine leader, a divine teacher, and a divine guide in the person of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We thank him for Muhammad. We thank him for Prophet Noble True Ali. We thank him for the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We thank him for Minister Malcolm X. El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, Brother Omar Walid. We thank him for all of the greats, again, who have come in the great line of divine. We thank him for Asada Shakur. We thank him for Fannie Lou Hamer. We thank him for Warrior Queen Nzinga and Warrior Queen Ya Asantewa. We thank him for all who have come to stand up and strike a blow for our freedom and independence. And so I thank that God who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad and raised up the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I thank both of them for the man who is largely responsible for what I am and what I am becoming, and the man who I can never deny No matter how much water has gone under the bridge, no matter what has gone down, no matter what has happened, he is still my spiritual father and still my teacher. I speak of none other than Minister Louis Farrakhan. In their name, I greet you with the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Hotep. Free the land. Black laws for all black people. Share Lafayette. Shalom, shalom. What's up? It's indeed, again, my honor to be here with the D.C. chapter of the New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense under the very capable leadership and guidance of Minister and Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz, who is not only our local chairman, but our National Minister of Justice, and all who work on his staff here in the Washington, D.C. area. We were honored and happy, all of us, to be out on the front lines at the day of outrage on yesterday. Let's give him, and let's give them, and let's give yourselves a strong black hand. My subject today is revolution is the solution.
All right.
What's my subject?
Revolution is the solution.
You're not scared to say it, are you? What's the subject?
Revolution is the solution.
Some of y'all look like you just like you scared to say it, or you're afraid that it will happen. Revolution is the solution. Well, if revolution is the solution, then what is revolution?
All right.
Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that revolution is complete constructive change. What is it?
Complete constructive change.
Revolution is complete constructive change. Whether it be political revolution, complete constructive change in the politics. If it is an economic revolution, complete constructive change. If it's a spiritual revolution, if it's an emotional revolution, if it's an educational revolution, if it's a personal revolution, revolution is complete constructive change. My subject today is revolution is the solution.
All right.
What's my subject?
Revolution is the solution.
You're not scared to say it, are you? What's the subject?
Revolution is the solution.
Some of y'all look like you just like you scared to say it, or you're afraid that it will happen. Revolution is the solution. Well, if revolution is the solution, then what is revolution?
All right.
Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that revolution is complete constructive change. What is it?
Complete constructive change.
Revolution is complete constructive change. Whether it be political revolution, complete constructive change in the politics. If it is an economic revolution, complete constructive change. If it's a spiritual revolution, if it's an emotional revolution, if it's an educational revolution, if it's a personal revolution, revolution is complete constructive change. The Bible reads in this manner: as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the ending. A revolution starts at a particular point in the beginning, and a revolution goes 360 degrees back to that original point. Well, now, what was going on in the beginning?
All right.
Were we integrated with white folks? Were we hanging out with Susie Runwickle and Bob and Bill and Merv and Doug and Douglas Fairbanks? Were we hanging out with them? Were they even on our planet is the question. In the beginning you ruled, black man. In the beginning you ruled, black woman. You do not have a goddamn revolution. If you stop somewhere in the middle, it must go 360 degrees back to you at the pinnacle of civilization, at the pinnacle and the height of your power. Revolution is the solution. Minister I'm talking about Old Testament Malcolm X now. We got Old Testament Malcolm, and we got New Testament Malcolm. I can't get with New Testament Malcolm, but I love Old Testament.
Yes, sir.
Old Testament Malcolm X said, a revolution is bloody. He said a revolution knows no compromise. He said a revolution uproots and overturns everything that gets in its path. He said, why, if you knew what a revolution was, why, you'd get back in the alley. If you knew what a revolution was, Malcolm said, why, you wouldn't even use, some of you wouldn't even use that word in your vocabulary. A revolution is bloody. A revolution uproots and overturns everything that gets in its path. A revolution is complete constructive change. Everybody under the sound of my voice is a revolutionary by nature. For every physical law, there's a mental and a spiritual counterpart. As below, so as above. And as above, so as beneath. There's the exoteric, which is the surface meaning, and then there's the esoteric, which is the hidden spiritual meaning. What do we mean that everyone under the sound of my voice is a revolutionary by nature? Revolution is not something that you need to be afraid of. The last poet said, niggas are scared of revolution. I don't know why niggas are afraid of revolution. The last poet said, niggas are afraid of revolution. But not black men, not black women, not the gods and goddesses of the original black nation. We're talking about niggas are scared of revolution. We must make a distinction between the nigger, the Negro, the colored, the African American, and all of these other half-baked, half-fried, punkified, sistified, pasteurized, homogenized labels that the white man has put on us. Revolution is the solution. Everyone under the sound of my voice, I repeat, is a revolutionary by nature. Look at it for what it's worth. We were in our mother's womb, most of us, for approximately 9 long months. It was long for mother, for sure. For 9 months. And while we were in the womb of mother, there was no chance of us, except under special circumstances and C-section and other natural forms of birth had been thwarted in some way. But under normal circumstances, we're there for approximately what? 9 months. But before we can come to birth, a revolution must take place. Our head is at the top, our feet are at the bottom, but before we can come to birth, the water must burst. There must be blood somewhere in that process, and the baby must take a turn and make a revolution inside of mother. And after the revolution, then the baby's head comes to the mouth of the womb, it crowns, and then after the revolution inside of mother, the baby comes to birth. It makes no difference how big mother is and how small the baby is. It makes no difference how seemingly significant mother's presence is and how to the unwise and the fool seemingly insignificant that which we cannot see the life of the baby is. It makes no difference that mother is independent and the baby is connected to mother, dependent on the system and the life force of mother. Regardless to how big she is, regardless to how strong she is, regardless to how powerful she is, regardless to how independent she is, that little baby, because freedom is a law of nature. Justice is deeply rooted in the universal order of things. When 9 months roll around, no matter how big, how strong, how independent mother is, nature and the God of nature forces mother to lie down and give that baby up. It makes no difference how big America is, whether it is ruled by Bush, whether it is ruled by a whore named Gore, whether it is ruled by Clinton. It makes no difference how powerful America is, how big, how mighty, how strong, how wrong. Because freedom is a law of nature.
right.
Revolution is the solution.
That's right.
Look how big America is. Whether it is ruled by Bush, whether it is ruled by a whore named Gore, whether it is ruled by Clinton, it makes no difference how powerful America is, how big, how mighty, how strong, how wrong.
That's right.
Because freedom is a law of nature. It has now come to the time when you must be free, black man and black woman, but a revolution must take place inside of America, and the black baby, the black nation must take a turn, must make a change, and the heads of the black men and women will be crowned then, and we will burst forth from the darkness of slavery, suffering, and death of the white man into the manifest light of the sun of freedom and independence, liberation, and salvation.
All right.
Revolution is the solution.
That's right.
Look at it. In the universe, approximately 9 planets in this sphere of the universe.
Oh, right.
And all of them spin at the terrific speed of 1,037 and a third miles per hour. They revolve. Revolution takes place. But there can be no revolution unless there is light. There can be no revolution without light. It is the sun, 853,000 miles in diameter, 2,679,785 miles in circumference, burning at the terrific temperature of 14,072 degrees Fahrenheit. It is the rays of the sun, the light of the sun, the energy of the sun, the power of the sun, reaching out through the darkness of space to hit that planet Mercury, the closest planet to the sun, causing it to spin and move and bow in submission, in revolution and rotation at the terrific speed of 1,037 and a third miles per hour, from the closest Mercury all the way out to the most distant Pluto, 4,600,000,000 miles from the sun. The sun's rays reach out to Pluto, touch Pluto at its imaginary equator, at its heart, and sets Pluto in motion, in revolution at 1,037 and a third miles per hour. You must, we must, as the new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense 10-point platform and program states, we must have light. We must have a proper knowledge of self.
Right.
You can't wage a revolution if you believe that you're an American. How in the hell are you going to go backwards and wage a revolution?
That's right.
How are you going to claim that you're some American? Some of you were out in the streets yesterday with American objectives, with American ideology, with American platform and program. You want to make the white man of America treat you better. You want to make the white man of America do better by you. That is why some narrow Negro nationalists and old, worn-out, tired revolutionaries who are either battle-fatigued, shell-shocked, or goddammit have just sold out and given up, don't believe in the new Black Panther Party today. We believe in separation and independence. We believe in a nation of our own. We don't believe in begging the white man, give me, let me have, can you spare? We don't believe that the white man will ever be good to us. We don't believe that your stringy-haired, stinky white girl with a gay, lesbian, homosexual, transvestite signs and placards in these rallies and protest marches that you call a revolutionary is a real ally of yours. She's supposed to stand up and fight for the release of Mumia Abu-Jamal. Jamal. All white folks are supposed to be out there. Don't be confused by that, because it was their old no-good mammy. It was their old no-good daddy. It was their old no-good low-down rotten grandma and grandpa. And all the way down the line that created the circumstances that all political prisoners would be locked down today the way they're locked down. And so they have a duty and an obligation. And most of them just got a guilt complex. Out there we have to be careful what side we're standing next
That's right.
We're queers for Mumia. That's a shame. We went to rallies in Philly. Every time the new Black Panther Party comes up, people got problems. Everybody could come up for Mumia and all political prisoners except the Black Panther Party.
Right.
Nobody wanted us around. Crazy cracker women standing up with their fists in the air talking about what I just mentioned, queers for Mumia. We're the lesbians for Mumia. And they are welcome at every rally. But some of our own brothers and sisters who claim to be revolutionaries will welcome the queers, will welcome the sissies, the faggots, will welcome the lesbians, the transvestites, the crossovers, the used-to-bes, the wanna-bes. They will welcome all of them. But when we come and say, Black Power, they say, oh, we don't need that. That's divisive. That divides the people. We don't need that on the platform for the political prisoners. God damn it, if a faggot can stand up, if a lesbian or dyke can stand up, if a queer can stand up, then God damn it, the Black Power movement must take a stand for our political prisoners. Revolution is the solution. Revolution is the solution. Complete come and say, Black Power. They say, oh, we don't need that. That's divisive. That divides the people. We don't need that on the platform for the political prisoners. God damn it, if a faggot can stand up, if a lesbian or dyke can stand up, if a queer can stand up, then God damn it, the Black Power movement must take a stand for our political prisoners. Revolution is the solution. Revolution is the solution. Complete constructive change. If your name is Harry McGillicuddy, Lou Cindy Brown, if your name is Johnny May Hamburger with lettuce and tomatoes on the side, whatever your slave name is, if you are not willing to get rid of the white man's name and take on a free name, a liberated name, then goddamn it, that ain't no revolution. You cannot be an African scholar. You cannot be a black scholar and still wear the white man's name, though you claim you know the history of this cracker. Even though you claim you know the history of your people, you must get rid of the white man's name. Give the cracker his name back. These are slave names. Thank you, sister. These are slave names. And as long as you wear a slave name, then you got to be a slave to some degree. You must learn African tongue, African language. You can't always speak English. The hell you gonna get free when your thoughts and your talk of getting free is in a slave or colonial language.
Right.
That means you can't even think a free thought completely because it's tainted by the colonial master's mind. It's tainted by the slave master's mind. So you must learn to speak the languages of Africa. You must learn to speak Yoruba. You must learn to not just say what's up, what's happening, what's going on, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You must be able to say Share Lafia Ni. And somebody must be able to answer and say Adupwe Alafia Ni. You must be able in another part to say Nangadef. As you say Nangadef in Swahili, in Senegal, in Walla, somebody must be able to say Magnifirek Alhamdulillah. Magnifirek. You must be able to answer and ask and say and plan in other languages, but you also must be able to come up with some code language that only you and those who roll with you know anything about, and be able to talk in a way that even a wise translator don't know what the hell you had to say. Revolution is the solution. You can't say that religion makes no difference. Our religion ain't got nothing to do with the revolution. You know, or it's religion that keeps us divided. Shut up, fool. Religion keeps us divided. Politics keeps us divided as well. A nigger Republican and a nigger Democrat. Nigger Republicans don't get along with nigger Democrats. And nigger Democrats don't get along with nigger Republicans. Socialism, communism, capitalism, imperialism, expansionism, globalism, globalization. There's so many ways to divide us.
Right.
Some of you say, when you talk about picking up the gun, we can't pick up the gun, the white man got a bigger gun. Well, yeah, he may have a bigger gun, but that's no reason for you not to stand up in self-defense and fight for your freedom and independence and take your God and your gun, to fight this cracker. You say, well, no, it's really economics. Economics. For food, I can say to you, if you got $1, the white man got a bigger dollar.
That's right.
He prints the dollar.
That's right.
He got the machine for the dollar.
That's right.
Some of you say, well, it's education. Education is going to get us free, not the gun. We need to study. We need more books. We need education. Well, if you got a book, fool, the white man got a bigger book. The white man makes the books. The white man prints the books. Every little weak excuse you come up with, the white man is in control. But when you are a revolutionary, when you are a guerrilla, when you are one who understands that your enemy has the upper hand, but you use whatever your enemy has, like David did a slingshot, and once he struck Goliath in the head, then he took Goliath's own weapon and chopped his damn head off with it. Don't be afraid of the white man's gun. Don't be afraid of the white man's newspaper, his magazine. Don't be afraid of the white man's news cameras. Use them in a revolutionary way. Don't be a fool, but use them in a revolutionary manner. We must have proper propaganda. We must be able to get our message out. We must be able to get our program and our platform out to the masses of our people who otherwise are not here today within these four walls, and many don't even know we met here today. So we must seize the time, whatever the time presents itself or avails itself, that we can get this message to the masses of our people, and the movement will grow because their knowledge of our struggle will grow. New Black Panther Party for self-defense being criticized by narrow Negro nationalists and tired, worn-out revolutionaries who, again, have either given up, shell-shocked, or they are battle fatigued, or they just sold out. Damn niggas suing us. In Texas, some original Panthers sued the New Black Panther Party. Here the nigga ain't said Panther in 30 years. Nigga don't wear nothing Panther in 30 years. Nigga don't even call the white man the devil, the pig, the cracker, the peckerwood, the hunky. Don't call him nothing. Don't even stick his tongue out at the devil no more. Don't do nothing at the devil no more. And then you see some young brothers and sisters. You see new blood inspired by what you did. You made us New Black Panthers. You laid the foundation for us. You woke us up. You inspired us. And God damn it, we're not going to let go down the tubes. What you set up in the 60s and in the 70s, we're the New Black Panther Party, and we're here to stay. Praise the due to Allah. Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Revolution is the Panther Party, and we're here to stay. Praise the due to Allah. Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power! Revolution is the goddamn solution. You know what I say? You understand what I'm saying? Revolution is the goddamn solution. What's the matter with you, fool? It's revolution, fool. Straight up revolution, fool. Sitting around here like a little knot on the lawn, all sweet and perfumed and cologned up, wearing Uchi and Coochie and Poochie, and Chanel and some other smell. Now it's gonna be dangerous down there the day of outrage. And Taalik, I don't know. He was out there on the front line. He wasn't afraid. Why the hell are you afraid? You thought they were gonna say, oh, that's Malik Shabazz. We not gonna mess with Malik Shabazz. Oh, he's a nigga lawyer. Oh, we're not doing nothing to no lawyer. yesterday. He's on the front line with you.
That's right.
He didn't send you out there. When you got a leader that will lead you out, that's totally different from a leader who always sending you out.
Right.
That's totally different. It ain't nothing to play with out there. Those crackers come armed to the teeth.
That's right.
1 gun, 2 guns, sometimes 3 guns. A gun at their ankle, a gun in the small of their back, sometimes a shoulder holster, sometimes one on the hip.
That's right.
And all kinds of backup that you don't even see. That's called a rapid deployment force.
Right.
They had armored vehicles and waiting out there yesterday.
Right.
Some of you saw it all on the news. The same way they did us at the Million Youth March Black Power Rally in Harlem on Malcolm X Boulevard. We have fed over 7,000 of our people over the past year or year and a half. Free food, free clothes, free winter coat drives for our cold people in these bitter winters. I mean, what in the hell is wrong with you? We just came back from the hearing of Imam Jamil al-Amin, formerly known as Brother H. Rap Brown. The day before I arrived here, I got up at 5 in the morning and stayed in the rain on the courthouse steps so I would make sure that I got in this time. And I was as close to him as from here to the sister right there. And he turned around several times and we communicated and we talked. And he said how happy he was to see me there and to know that the new Black Panther Party had been holding rallies for him all across the country. We gotta get rid of this nigger mess.
That's right.
The original Panthers should come and join with us. You should be right here with us. You should be saying, young brother and young sister, let me tell you this. Let me conduct the political education class for this week or for next week. Let me tell you the history. Let me tell you, because history is best qualified to reward our research. You should be saying, we must know what happened yesterday so we can intelligently deal with today. And we won't make the same mistakes today that we made yesterday. The one thing we lack is continuity in struggle. Continuity in struggle. We say the battle cry, Aluta continue. Aluta continue. The struggle continues. Aluta continue. But continuity in struggle is important. Our old veterans and seasoned veterans of many campaigns of war, from the original Black Panther Party, from the Republic of New Africa, from the Black Muslim Movement, from the Universal Negro Improvement Association of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, all of you, the old seasoned veterans of many campaigns of war, you should be helping give us guidance, give us direction, instead of sitting back envious and jealous that we are not afraid to be Black Panthers in the 21st century. You say the white man has changed. I agree. The white man has changed. The bastard has gotten worse. He's worse. We have more reason to be militant today than ever before.
That's right.
We are receiving the baton. Our leg is supposed to be the fast leg. It's supposed to be the hot leg.
That's right.
We're supposed to take the baton with smooth transition and burn up the track and burn up everything in our way. Revolution is the solution.
All right.
There is no way to be free except revolution.
That's right.
Nothing that is living, nothing that is human, nothing that has warm blood running through its veins can come into existence except by the shedding of blood.
Right. That's right.
That's right.
It's got to be bloodshed.
That's right.
You say you go to church. You say you believe in the Bible. The Bible say before Moses could lead his people to the promised land, they had to go through the Red Sea.
That's right.
You thinking they crossed some water, waded through a puddle, and stepped over a pond, and they could swim a little bit. That's not what the hell the book is talking about. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad say the Red Sea represents war, bloodshed, and revolution.
That's right.
War, bloodshed, and revolution. Before you can get to the promised land, you got to go through war, bloodshed, and and revolution. You can't be a revolutionary on a luxury basis. You got to take some chances. You got to face the enemy.
That's right.
You got to smell the enemy's breath.
That's right.
You got to look in the enemy's eyes.
That's right.
You got to stand on the enemy's feet.
That's right.
You got to brush the enemy's belly.
Go ahead.
You got to crawl through the glass. You got to crawl through the dirt. You got to pop up on the enemy in the middle of the night.
Go ahead.
You got to make a noise in the east and strike in the west.
Go ahead.
You got to know when to avoid strength and strike weakness.
Go ahead.
That when the enemy appears to be strong, there are times when you feign weakness. You are feigning that you are retreating, but when the enemy is weak or the enemy is asleep, you advance and take him out.
Go ahead.
Revolution is the solution.
All right.
Whatever you are, be a revolutionary.
That's right.
I don't give a damn what you are. Be a revolutionary.
Right.
You're a teacher. I teach. I'm an educator. Well, that's fine. We need some nigga educators. And we need some black ones, too.
That's right.
You're an educator. Be a revolutionary educator. Teach revolution in the classroom. Take the subject matter of the curriculum and teach revolution with that subject matter. You say, well, I'm a doctor. Well, I'm a lawyer. Be a revolutionary lawyer.
Right.
Be a revolutionary doctor.
All right.
Be a revolutionary at whatever you do.
That's right.
You hip-hop? Huh?
Yeah.
You rap? Be a revolutionary rapper.
Sure.
Bust revolutionary rhyme.
Right.
That will uplift your people. You got them wearing their pants down halfway across the crack of their behind.
Right. Right.
You got them showing their drawers pulled way up here. You got them looking like damn fools all over the place. You got that kind of influence. You are holding up the damn revolution. If you got that kind of influence, put revolution on the minds of your people. Be a revolutionary rapper. Huh?
Yeah.
You rap, be a revolutionary rapper.
Sure.
Bust revolutionary rhyme.
Right.
That will uplift your people. You got them wearing their pants down halfway across the crack of their behind.
Right. Right.
You got them showing their drawers pulled way up here. You got them looking like damn fools all over the place. You got that kind of influence. You are holding up the damn revolution. If you got that kind of influence, put revolution on the minds of your people. Be a revolutionary rapper.
Like Paul. Like Paul.
Whatever you do, be a revolutionary.
Like Paul.
You say, I'm just a mother. You're not just a mother. You hold the future of the revolution in your arms. You hold the future of the revolution of your people close to your breast, close to your bosom. Be a revolutionary mother. Put revolutionary thoughts and ideas whispered in the ear of your baby. Sing revolutionary lullaby to your baby. Let your baby go to sleep under the tune of a revolutionary croon. That's a revolutionary mother. You're a father, be a revolutionary father. Help bring your children up and farther along the way and further along the way. Put in them that which will manifest down the wheel of time and down the line that will make them revolutionaries. Teach your babies who the enemy is. Teach your babies to recognize the enemy.
That's right.
Teach your babies to know that the enemy is not your friend.
That's
and
right.
your friend is not your enemy.
Right.
Make them to fight the enemy even if they have to fight the enemy with a baby bottle.
That's right.
Teach your babies to be revolutionary. You grandma, you grandpa, be revolutionary, grandma, grandpa. You rock the hell out of that rocking chair with some revolutionary rhythm. So we hear the creak of the boards, so that we hear you putting down revolutionary wisdom from your years of survival and success here on this planet. I'm almost at my conclusion. Revolution is the solution. The Democratic Party is not the solution.
No, sir. Right.
The Republican Party is not the solution.
No, sir.
A
Right.
future in white America is not the solution.
No, sir.
There is no magical white man that's going to be born that's going to have such a miraculous change of heart that he's going to free you indeed. Colin Powell is not a free nigga.
That's right.
Colin Powell is bought and paid for.
That's right.
Condoleezza Rice is not a free nigga. The white man say, hold up, nigga. You not free. You my nigga and you belong to me.
That's right.
Jesse Jackson running off at the mouth all the time. Now Republican regime is in. And he's been running off at the mouth. Took some woman 4 months pregnant to the White House to counsel Clinton, Hillary, and Chelsea while he was doing the same damn thing. Reverend Jesse Jackson. She had the baby for the nigga around the same time that the Monica Lewinsky thing was raging here in America with a wife of 38 years, and I believe 5 children. And this Negro is creeping and sneaking around. When the white man came out against me because of my speech at King College, in Gore, Clinton, the White House, the Senate, the Congress, city councils from all across the country, state legislatures from all across the country, the Pope, the Catholic Church, the Congressional Black Caucus, not caucus, caucus.
That's right.
And Kwesi and Fume and all of these Negroes came out against me. It was Jesse Louis Jackson who was on TV on an almost consistent basis, and another old Negro named Benjamin Chavis on a consistent basis, attacking me because I fought against the white man. But now the Negro is hurt. The Negro got tears in his eyes. The Negro got caught with his pants down. I don't feel a goddamn thing with a Negro with his pants down. Jesse Jackson got caught in the action. Got caught with his pants down. And now the Negro says he's going to withdraw and not going to be around. I don't have no bad feelings because of this underhanded Negro's dealings. Revolution is the only solution. The Negro always talking about condoms and how everyone should use a condom. But here he was having unprotected sex. And it even turns out that they had to have, after his unprotected sex, they had to have a paternity test. And the paternity test was to prove whether the baby was his or the young lady was seeing somebody else. Now, what kind of mess is this for a nigga? He's the white man's Labrador Retriever dog. He sent Jesse Jackson hassling, wagging his tail. He can send him to Nigeria. He can send him to the illegitimate government of Abacha in Nigeria. He could send him to Kosovo. He could send him to Iran, Iraq. He could send him to Rwanda. He could send him to the Congo. He could send him to South Africa. He's just the white man's nigga. Wherever the white man say go, the nigga go. He bark when the white man say bark. And bite when the white man says bite.
That's right.
But now the dog wants to take out his dentures and chill.
He say he coming back.
And be still.
He say he coming back.
He say he's coming back, but I don't think he could ever come back like it was before. Because we will always remember him, Bill Cosby, and Johnny Cochran, and some of the other Negroes, Reverend Ben Chavis, and all of these Negroes who say one thing and do another. They're only faithful to the white man. Here's a nigga not faithful to his wife, not faithful to his children, not faithful to his people. But the white man can normally count on him, at least for a while. But the white man is smart. He knows that if your wife can't trust you, if your children can't trust you, if your people can't trust you, the white man knows that he really can't trust you. He'll use you until he uses you up, Jesse Lewis. And then you'll do what you do to any old dog that's not a good watchdog anymore. You throw him all bone for a while, and then after a while, you put the old dog to sleep because the dog is no good. Revolution is the solution. Revolution is the solution. If you work in corporate America, be a revolutionary. If you work in government, be a revolutionary. Gather material, gather information, learn everything you can. If you got a high level of security clearance, you can go indoors that other Negroes can't go in. You go in and see whatever you can see. And then bring it back to your black community so that we can be all that we can really be. Be a revolutionary in whatever you do. This chapter should grow overnight. Every one of you that is not a member should join today. What else you got to do? You say, well, I'm too old. You're not too old. We need you. We need your wisdom. We need your maturity. You say, I'm too young. We need you. We need your fire. We need your spirit. We need your zeal. You say, well, I'm middle-aged. I'm not too young. I'm not too old. I say, you're just right.
That's right.
For what needs to be done at this time. What the Honorable Elijah Muhammad calls the time and what must be done.
Yes.
The time and what must be done. I want to cover the 10-point program and platform and cover a few things with you. Why is the new Black Panther Party talking about God? Some of the original Panthers are angry with us because we talk about God. They say ain't no religion in the Black Panther Party. You ain't supposed to have no religion. You're a fool.
Right.
We don't want to do nothing where God is not at the center. You will never build a mass movement among black people if you leave God out of your movement. It's silly. That's why all kind of lumping activity can crop up. That's why we end up with tons of drugs on top of our heads brought in by COINTELPRO, K. Edgar Hoover. That's what I said, K. Edgar Hoover. K. Edgar Hoover and the modern day Hoovers.
This program contains graphic images and racial slurs. Viewer discretion is advised. Their cry is Black Power.
Black Power.
Declaring freedom or death.
New Black Panther Party self-defense. Who are we? New Black Panther Party self-defense.
Demanding an end to oppression, their call is for revolution.
Revolution is inevitable, and the only one who can stop it is God himself.
And change by any means necessary.
You want freedom? You're gonna have to kill some crackers. You're gonna have to kill some of their babies.
A separate nation for and by blacks.
I hate white people. Every last iota of a cracker, I hate it.
Built on a legacy forged in the 60s.
The Black Panther Party said that in order for black people to be free, the American government had to be completely reconstructed in a revolutionary way.
Today, the new Black Panther Party and other black nationalists are seeking to redefine black power in America. Harlem, New York, the 4th of July weekend. Members of the Harlem, Trenton, and Newark chapters of the new Black Panther Party gather on Frederick Douglass Boulevard. They are protesting racial oppression of blacks at the hands of what they consider to be the racist U.S. government. The new Black Panther Party for Self-Defense is one of the most extreme black nationalist groups in America today. In the next hour, we'll travel inside 3 black nationalist groups that all call themselves Panthers. The 1960s militant Black Panther Party for self-defense. The new Black Panther Party that has no affiliation with the original party, but seeks to reinvent their concept of black power. And the socially conscious new Black Panther Nation, New Marcus Garvey movement. The new Black Panther Party members see themselves as warriors, aiming to liberate blacks from the captivity of white society. They hate whites, Jews, and homosexuals. They are against the government, oppose taxation and military service for blacks, and seek reparations for slavery. They want separate institutions for whites and blacks, and even a separate nation.
What's your colors be? Red, black, and green. And to hell with what?
Strong and militant, they declare they are ready to bring this change about by any means necessary, including violence. These new Black Panthers are calling for revolutionary political and social change.
The new Black Panther Party exists because the spirit for liberation and revolution amongst our people still exists. And we are the current generation that embodies the ultimate aspirations of a people that have suffered much here in the hells of North America.
The hell with whitey's independence. The hell with whitey's independence. Because in 1776,
the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center characterize the new Black Panther Party as a hate group because of its racist and anti-Semitic rhetoric.
It is a proven hate group. Khalid, Malik Shabazz, and many of the other folks in leadership of the new Black Panther Party have long records of anti-Semitism and bigotry and racism. The new Black Panther Party is trying to make a name for itself in a way that is not embracing of multiculturalism, or it essentially it cloaks its anti-Semitism and racism and bigotry under the guise of black empowerment and black nationalism.
The new Black Panther Party made national news in June 1998 when 50 members marched into the troubled town of Jasper, Texas. They were there to protest the brutal murder of James Byrd, a black man dragged to death behind a pickup truck by 3 white supremacists. The Panthers patrolled the streets with guns drawn, thrusting themselves into the national spotlight. Since Jasper, Texas, the new Black Panthers have targeted communities experiencing incidents of racial violence, including the police shooting of Sean Bell in Queens, New York, and the recent brutal abduction and rape of Megan Williams by a group of whites in West Virginia. Inserting themselves into the controversy, the Panthers hold rallies and marches to garner media attention and call for social justice. In Harlem, they desecrate the flag to show their hatred for the U.S. government.
that's the equivalent of a doormat.
They entreat bystanders to join their protest.
I'm telling black people, wake up to the knowledge of who you are. Stop accepting the lies of America and the white man, this devil. Wake up to who you are. And then when you wake up to
when you look at how they've tried to address serious civil rights issues, it always kind of comes back to hate speech, blaming it on whites, but also blaming it on Jews for the problems of their community.
Like many black nationalist groups, the new Black Panther Party advocates black pride and racial separation.
The new Black Panther Party argued that black people should have territorial separatism, possibly in North America. It's a very cynical position that black and white people could not, in fact, live together in any sort of sense of fairness and equality and justice.
That land, that territory, that black nation, it may be here, it may not. It may be 12 states in America. It may be 5 states in America. It may be in Zimbabwe. It may be in Nigeria. It may be in the West Indies as a physical territory. But black nation means all of us. Even if you're in New York and I'm in D.C. and brother's in Atlanta and another man is in Texas, we are all connected by a common ideology, a common thought.
The New Panthers firmly believe that as long as the races mix, blacks and whites will never achieve equality. They believe that blacks are the original people and see themselves as the kings and queens of the world. They oppose interracial dating and marriage and work to preserve the purity of the black race. The only way they believe they can achieve their aims is to obtain social and political control.
Black power. Black power. We want power. We want control of our communities. We want control of our educational system. We want control of the politics and the money that flows through our community. We want control of the culture. We want control of the arts. We want the power.
The organization claims over 45 chapters in the U.S., including a headquarters in Washington, D.C. They are highly organized with local and regional leadership and claim a few thousand members. Some organizations, like the Anti-Defamation League, believe the group is much smaller.
It's really not a very large membership, and I think its strength comes from the fact that they are able to get a lot of people out to their events. You know, they get a permit and a lot of people show up. Most of them are not actual members of the new Black Panther Party. These people are probably interested in the issues that they may be dealing with at the time. Some of them may not even realize what this group actually stands for. They're just attracted to what they think the message is going to be.
The Panthers use the nationalist message of self-improvement through self-reliance to recruit new members.
Repeat after me. Wake up, black man.
Wake up, black man.
The range of membership of the new Black Panther Party is what they called in the 60s the lumpen proletariat, or the blood, or the brother and sister that's just straight up off the street. He's been through some hard times, but he's trying to get his life together. So when you see the member of the new Black Panther Party, you see one that has been transformed from a negative in society to one who's having a positive input on black society.
I'm Minister King Samir Shabazz. I want to say black power to all my people who've lost their lives and are giving their lives for the struggle of our people today.
King Samir Shabazz, chairman of the Philadelphia New Black Panther Party, is one of the city's most outspoken black militants. Today, the 38-year-old high school dropout who grew up in Trenton's Fraser projects is leading the Panther charge on the streets.
The new Black Panther Party is standing up. It's up to the people to stand up, man. Until we get this white supremacist ideology out of our minds, man, we're gonna always be in this country, man. Because it takes the extreme ones to keep us alive. You understand what I'm saying? It takes the extreme ones to keep the truth into our people's head.
Central to Samir's beliefs is the Panther ideology of freedom from white oppression at any cost, encapsulated in their motto, freedom or death.
In a sense, I have a death wish. That's me, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that warrior. You know, I don't care. I'm ready for war, man. Because black people need to be free.
Next, Samir takes his violent message of revolution to the streets. King Samir Shabazz is the new Black Panther Party's Philadelphia leader. This new Panther version of Black Power does not include white participation. In fact, Samir keeps a composition book of indignities perpetrated on blacks by whites.
Bottom line, I understand he is my open enemy today. He has brutalized, raped, maimed, killed, burned, lynched, robbed, tortured, took our names, took our God, took our language, took us. Okay? So there's no reason for me, knowing all of this, with this book, all of the history of everything this man has done to us, there's no reason why I should be still walking around in 2008 talking about let us all unite and fight this struggle together.
Black rage, for some people, was an articulation of the obvious frustration with being powerless. So that sense of frustration and anger manifests itself in sort of extremist politics because you're dealing with extremist conditions.
To throw off every vestige of white oppression, Shabazz has relinquished his given name of Maurice Heath for King Samir Shabazz.
The black man is the king of this universe. So, I added on king, which means ruler. Samir means entertaining companion or teacher, and Shabazz means indestructible. So that's how I formulated my name.
In Philadelphia, King Samir Shabazz and his chief of staff, Jerry Jackson, spend weekends passing out flyers to call attention to injustices in the black community, protesting police brutality, and recruiting new members.
Did you get one of these, Queen? Take that one. All right, you're welcome. Sis, you get one of these? It's information on how to deal with the police. All right? Many different situations when they come to your house, when they come to your car, when they just violating you on the street. My job is to educate black people whether they want to be educated or not. I don't give a damn what they may feel about white people. I hate white people. All of them. Every last iota of a cracker, I hate it. Because we're still in this condition, man. You want to play? We didn't come out here to play with nobody.
Samir targets only his people with his Black Power message. He preaches racial separation and rages against police brutality against blacks. He believes that only revolution can liberate his people, and rejects the idea that the election of Barack Obama will usher in real change. Samir will use any opportunity to shout his message, even at a festival celebrating African heritage.
We didn't come out here to play today. There's too much serious business going on in the black community to be out here sliding through South Street with white, dirty, cracker whore on our arm, and we call ourselves black men with African garb on. What the hell is wrong with you, black man? You had a doom day with a white girl on your damn arm. We keep begging white people for freedom. No wonder we're not free. Your enemy cannot make you free, fool. You want freedom? You're gonna have to kill some crackers. You're gonna have to kill some of their babies. Let us get our act together. It's time to wake up, clean up, and stand up. Black power? Black power? I damn it, I said black power. Black power. Black power. That's wrong.
That's right.
King Samir Shabazz and his fellow new Black Panther Party members
I already knew what this was.
see their mission rooted in a tradition of revolution started in the 1960s. Los Angeles, California, summer of 1965. Following the arrest of a black motorist for drunk driving, the predominantly black neighborhood of Watts explodes. When the Watts riots subside 6 days later, 34 people are dead, 4,000 people arrested, and an estimated $100 million in property destroyed. By 1967, poverty, inequality, and racial discrimination spark over 100 similar riots in U.S. cities. Violent racial unrest sweeps the country, and a new militant movement emerges. At the forefront is an Oakland, California group called the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense.
The original Black Panther Party was founded in October of 1966. It's coming on the heels of the assassination of Malcolm X. It's emerging on the heels of the Black Rebellion in Watts. There is a sense in which the citizens of Oakland feel under siege. They're looking elsewhere to imagine a politics that will allow them to respond to the conditions of their living.
The Panthers, led by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, break with the nonviolent methods of the civil rights movement, advocating instead for armed self-defense of the black community.
The Black Panther Party said that in order for black people to be free, the American government and the American structure had to be completely rent and reconstructed in a revolutionary way. To think that you are going to seek freedom from your oppressor is ridiculous. To think we're going to march and say no justice, no peace from now to doomsday is an absurdity. So once you understand that, and now a mechanism is in place, a guy named Huey Newton stands up and organizes other men and women, and they patrol the streets and they say this is what black people know of the government, justice on the street.
The original Black Panthers were not a separatist organization. They didn't want to leave the U.S. They wanted to reinvent it. Their rallying cry was Black Power. They combined black nationalism with Marxist philosophy and sought to overthrow the U.S. capitalist system of governance.
And by revolution, we meant the end of capitalism. We meant the institution of a socialist-like scheme. We said that we were communists. We were also black. We believed in black people.
Black people say!
Using mass organizing tactics like rallies in poor neighborhoods, Panthers swell from 400 members to over 5,000 in 1969. Their belief, all power to all the people, helps them form alliances with other radical organizations, including those run by whites.
All power to all the people. There are 6 billion living human beings on the face of this earth right now. It has evolved to be such. You know, and it is not about just one ethnic group. You cannot even talk about African American people's community and human liberation unless you talk about all people's human liberation.
The original Panthers, what they really truly were about was trying to kind of uplift people in tough situations. You know, they also explicitly reached out to work with other races. They worked with the Young Lords, Puerto Ricans. They worked with all kinds of white leftists, and they really did. There really wasn't racist rhetoric about whites, you know, all white people need killing. I mean, it was very explicitly about the power structure.
They drafted a 10-point plan that called for adequate food and housing, an end to black service in the military, and the release of blacks from jail. They also served their community with many needed services and social programs, such as a breakfast program for poor black children, a free ambulance service, and legal aid. In the early 1970s, after years of arrests, conflict with police, intensive pressure from the FBI, and infighting within the group, the Panther organization eventually disintegrated. Panther's founder, Huey Newton, descended into drug use. In the early morning hours of August 22, 1989, Newton was shot dead on the streets of Oakland, in an area inhabited by drug dealers. Original Panther member David Hilliard still visits the spot where his friend was killed.
Huey got killed in front of this house right here. In the wee hours of the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, he was killed here by a drug dealer. I started immediately trying to figure out a way how to save the best of what our party represented. I wanted people to not reduce Huey to the last 5 years of his life. He was much more than that. He was a drug addict, but he was also the founder of one of the more impactful organizations in the history of human and civil rights struggle in this country. That is the Black Panther Party.
The Black Panthers achieved prominence for their community programs and their policy of armed self-defense and violence.
I wanted people to not reduce Huey to the last 5 years of his life. He was much more than that. He was a drug addict, but he was also the founder of one of the more impactful organizations in the history of human and civil rights struggle in this country. That is the Black Panther Party.
The Black Panthers achieved prominence for their community programs and their policy of armed self-defense and violence. But they also redefined black power in the 1960s by making a break from Martin Luther King Jr.'s tactics of nonviolence.
History, I felt, would substantiate that the destruction of the Black Panther Party marked a tragic episode in the struggle of black people in America for freedom. The Black Panther Party was probably the greatest effort that black people in America have made for freedom.
Today, members of the original Black Panther Party continue strengthening their legacy. They remain vocal advocates for the black community and still gather to protest the continued imprisonment of fellow Panthers.
We believed in black people. We saw that as our subjective interest, and that is what its legacy is that we did stand up. We did fight. We have seen and met people today who are still alive, who not just fought the police, but who stood up and put their lives on the line and said, this is what I'm here to do.
Next, borrowing from the legacy of a group from the 60s, a new Black Panther Party emerges and gains a national presence under a charismatic and controversial leader. Over a decade after the demise of Huey Newton's Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party was started in Dallas, Texas. A local radio talk show producer resurrected the name and gathered a group of blacks who took up shotguns and marched against a school board official who used a racial slur against black students.
The new Black Panther Party was started when there was no Black Panther Party. It was started by Brother David Foreman and Brother Aaron Michaels in the late 1980s because they believed in the Panther. They believed that the struggle that Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, who founded the Black Panther Party in the 1960s, should be continued, and that the spirit of liberation, the spirit of revolution, and the program of self-defense and community development should live on.
The new Panthers used the militant rhetoric and confrontational style of the original Panthers, but abandoned their core principle of all power to all the people.
And black power.
Instead, the new Black Panther Party kept the Panther name, but added a fiery brand of black separatism, black nationalism, and anti-Semitism.
You already know what you want to know.
Their hatred of the Jews stems from a belief that blacks are the true descendants of the Hebrews of the Bible. They also believe that while blacks and Jews have both struggled for equality in America, the Jews have risen and abandoned the blacks. The new party and their militant tactics attracted a small nationwide following during the next several years.
In the beginning, New Black Panther Party held a youth rally, and they invited Tom Metzger, who was the head of the White Aryan Resistance, and they both agreed, the white supremacists and the black supremacists agreed that they should be separate and live their own lives.
Militant and at times hate-filled language has been a core component of the new Black Panther Party since its beginnings. But the rhetoric intensified under Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who became the group's de facto leader in 1998.
And black power.
When the new Black Panther Party teamed up with Khalid Abdul Muhammad, who was a former NOI spokesperson, the hardcore anti-Semitism and racism really became part of what was attractive to a lot of people about the new Black Panther Party.
Khalid was the national spokesman for the nation's leader, Minister Louis Farrakhan. His outspoken rhetoric made him a hero to some young members of the NOI.
Khalid Muhammad was a firebrand. He was charismatic. He was powerful. He resonated with young black people. He resonated with the hip-hop generation. He was a force to be reckoned with in many ways outside of the Nation of Islam.
I say to the Jewish people.
The Nation of Islam, a religious organization, was founded in 1930 and claims to promote Islamic beliefs and black pride. But in 1993, Khalid brought pressure on the organization when he gave a speech at New Jersey's Keene College and referred to Jewish people as bloodsuckers and the Pope as a cracker.
Perpetrating a fraud just crawled out of the caves and hills of Europe. So-called Jew make you believe that you are not the chosen people of
His
God.
remarks were so strident that Khalid was censured by the U.S. Congress. In response to the public outcry, Minister Louis Farrakhan suspended Khalid from the leadership of the Nation of Islam.
I found the speech vile in manner.
The Nation of Islam wanted him to tone down his rhetoric, and Khalid Muhammad found a space where he could say what he wanted to say without someone telling him that he needs to tone down his rhetoric, and that organization was the New Black Panther Party.
Wake up, clean up, and stand up.
In 1998, Khalid became the de facto leader of the new Black Panther Party for self-defense.
I was at a meeting of the new Black Panthers, and I observed a speech given by Khalid Muhammad, where he said that you should not just go into white people's houses and just kill the white man and his wife. He said you should go into that bedroom and find that little white baby and stab him in his chest. I looked around, there were about 200 or more people in that room. Of course, I think that anybody in here might be crazy enough to do that. And you always ask yourself the question, what's the effect? Will that have a positive effect on a movement or a negative effect? I don't think anybody can conclude anything but that it would have a negative effect.
A black man cannot be a racist. A racist means to have prejudice plus power. You cannot show me where whites were imprisoned, where they were discriminated against, where they were denied opportunity against because of his words. His words were spoken out of pain and suffering for an oppressed people. They're two different standards.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!
Minister Khalid Abdul Muhammad made his transition to the ancestors.
Black power!
Black power!
Khalid died in 2001 of a brain aneurysm, but his teachings and beliefs still guide the new Black Panther Party.
And he'll be the devil tomorrow. Black power!
Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad will always remain our mentor and always remain our ideological standard bearer. He is the master teacher of black nationalism and Pan-Africanism and revolution in our midst, even though he's not here. It is our duty to carry his word and legacy on. He not only talked about it and talked the talk, he walked the walk. And he organized and stood up black men and black women, and he never cowed down in the face of opposition.
In 2001, Malik Zulu Shabazz was named chairman of the party. With a law degree from Howard University, Zulu Shabazz seeks to reshape the organization into more of a social activist group.
The leadership has decided that they can have an impact with street theater. It's much more difficult to actually go into a community and try to door-to-door deal with some kind of education about HIV positive rates that are rising in the inner city of Detroit. That's not glamorous. It involves knocking on doors. It involves trying to organize people. It's much easier and more glamorous and romantic to put on black uniforms as a 1960s Black Panther, put on black gloves and put your fists in the air and get on TV. That's easy.
Police brutality!
Really, what I think is going on with Shabazz is that what he really does, which is look around the country for, hot racial situations, is exactly what the Klan groups and the neo-Nazi groups do. The fact is that Shabazz has been connected to, the most militant, the most racist people in the black nationalist world for pretty much his whole career.
Over the past decades, much has been made about the improved nature of racism in America. But even in the light of an Obama presidency, the debate continues over whether racism is embedded too deep in the culture to ever disappear.
The majority of African Americans believe that race still plays a role in the lived experience of Americans of any background. I think that people are much more optimistic, and studies show that African Americans feel a lot more invested in the United States, much more hopeful about the United States with the promise of Obama.
There are those like Malik Zulu Shabazz and his new Black Panthers who reject politics as a means to effect real change. They believe the solution to issues such as discrimination, police brutality, and hate crimes is separation from white society.
He sees himself as a militant black man who is fighting for the African community by any means necessary. Black rage is not just revolutionary, like the original Panthers may have used that term, or black power. For him, it is a combination of black power and hatred.
The new Black Panther Party does not have the wide support of the black community, and it remains a controversial fringe group.
We believe in telling the truth. We're the last ones with the truth left. We don't bow to the ADL, the Southern Poverty Law Center. We bow to God Almighty. The ADL has banned, in their opinion, nationalism and Pan-Africanism. And so we don't pay attention to what they say. I've been taught by the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that the devil will never give you credit for your righteousness. That you're not going to go on the internet or see on Fox News, Sean Hannity. The new Black Panther Party did a great event today. They don't want to hear Malik Zulu Shabazz, the attorney at war, fighting for our people. You didn't hear anything on the national news about our efforts in New Orleans to rescue our people out of the muck and out of the water. The enemy has no design to portray us in a positive light. And that's why we want freedom and liberation to control our own TV and our own images, because we don't have the power to tell our story.
While the new Black Panther Party claims they serve the community, it's their tactics that infuriate many former original Panther members.
Their statements not represent what the Black Panther Party was about. They were racist, not only towards white folks, but even other peoples of color. And this was just totally out of whack.
Brandishing the image of the Panther also concerns the original group, who remain protective of their Panther legacy.
You guys have been around since 1988, the so-called New Black Panthers. It's almost 20 years, and I've not seen one relevant, tangible program that you set up in the community to serve the people as a means to help raise their conscience and unify them in opposition to their oppressors. All you do is spew rhetoric and talk.
Up next, a former new Black Panther Party member reinvents his own vision of a black nation. In the Highland Park section of Detroit sits an unassuming office. A faded panther adorns the outside of the building. Inside, former new Black Panther Party member Malik Shabazz runs a small grassroots organization. Although he will not disclose membership numbers, he asserts his members are dedicated to elevating his people to nationhood.
New Marcus Garvey movement, Black Panther Nation. We're about revolutionary Pan-African black nationalism. Revolution meaning complete, constructive, total, cosmic change. Pan-African meaning all African people across the planet are one, need to unite, need to work together, need to have a relation. Black being the origin of life. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we're not black because we're cursed, we're black because we're first. Everything, all life, starts out in blackness.
Malik Shabazz is no relation to the man who currently runs the new Black Panther Party. He chose his name from the Muslim name of Malcolm X. Although this Shabazz is also a separatist who believes in building a black nation within the U.S., his tactics differ from those of the new Black Panthers. He registers voters, stages protests over what he considers to be unjust conditions, visits homeless shelters, and advocates for educational reform. He follows Marcus Garvey, a black nationalist who first put forth his ideas nearly a century ago. Marcus Garvey, the descendant of slaves, founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association, or UNIA. The principles of Garveyism were racial pride, self-reliance, and black nationalism.
The Marcus Garvey movement, or the Universal Negro Improvement Association, was an organization that was black nationalist in its purest sense. It sought a black nation in Africa, liberation of black people globally. It believed that having an independent state that was black controlled, top to bottom, would be a springboard, and that white nations would recognize this black state and deal with black people in a different manner.
Marcus Garvey's message attracted thousands of disillusioned black Americans and inspired a powerful movement of black pride, black nationalism, and economic self-sufficiency.
There are many legacies of the UNIA and Marcus Garvey. The colors, the green, black, and red, the nationalist tricolor, which are universally recognized as the black nationalist flag, a flag of black nationalism. But also the defiant rhetoric of racial pride, of a reclamation of Africa, a celebration of ancient African history, and attaching black people to that ancient history.
Malik Shabazz is keeping Garvey's beliefs alive in the 21st century. His ultimate goal is separate societies segregated on the basis of skin color. He wants blacks to have the chance to build their own nation.
we've got to get power. We've got to have some independence and show other people that we are ready for nationhood.
Shabazz believes the only way to create that sense of nationhood for blacks is through revolution. Although he believes it will take armed revolution to achieve his goals, he does not believe the time is right for that uprising. He claims his people must first work within their own neighborhoods to elevate themselves, so they are prepared to rule their own nation.
This is a crack house, heroin house, marijuana house. We've marched on this house about 20 times. Eugene, one of the dealers. That's why it's up to the people to come together and let people know that we don't want any drug dealing.
That's right.
We
don't want none of that in our neighborhood.
We don't want, and it starts here. We don't want any drug dealing. We don't want any prostitution going on in the neighborhood. Crime. Every day we will be back. Every day we will be back until you stop. Every day we will be back until you stop selling crack. All day long, all night long. Sisters, the sisters who are chemically dependent and get in, we sick of it too. We sick of it too.
Malik Shabazz credits his racial and social awakening to Malcolm X and former new Black Panther Party leader Khalid Muhammad.
Dr. Khalid Muhammad, the baddest brother I've ever met. Dr. Khalid Muhammad was the man. Malcolm X times 25. He brought the thunder, he brought the roar, he brought the funk, he brought the pain. Real, committed, consistent, brilliant, highly educated, fierce, bold, warrior, militant, but loving. He was the greatest. I love him in life and in death.
Shabazz left the new Black Panther Party after Dr. Khalid died. This led Shabazz to start the new Black Panther Nation, New Marcus Garvey movement.
We try to be broad. Narrow nationalism will not work, and we've got to be more universal. We've also got to be able to accept decent European help. Not membership, but help. If white folks want to clean up the ghetto and want to help, they can. But they can't join, but they can feel free to roll. And we treat everybody the same. Amen. Amen.
In Detroit, Shabazz and his organization are slowly effecting change.
Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to get ready to march. You ready? One more time.
I know that Malik Shabazz in Detroit has actually gotten out in front of crack houses and picketed and brought attention upon these drug dealers in the community and basically shamed the police into coming in and stopping them. One of the most positive things from the new Black Panthers in Detroit was a movement to shut down these dope houses.
While Shabazz's Detroit organization works to exalt his people to nationhood, in New York City, a group of new Black Panthers are looking to bring down the U.S. government so as to build a black nation from the ashes. Harlem, New York, July 5th. Members of the New York, Trenton, and Newark chapter of the new Black Panther Party march along Frederick Douglass Boulevard to 125th Street in New York City. They have come to celebrate a festival they call the 4th of July. It's an ironic and accusatory title, highlighting the fact that American independence in 1776 did nothing for enslaved blacks. In fact, the Constitution, when ratified, measured all slaves as only 3/5 of a person.
Frederick Douglass argued that July 4th had a different meaning for African Americans than for whites. At that day, July 4th, 1776, the vast majority of black people in North America were enslaved. And then for the remaining another 90 years, they found themselves also enslaved.
Shaka Shakur is the leader of the Harlem chapter of the new Black Panther Party.
You don't exist for that white devil. He didn't even cut an eye at you. He didn't even, like he had blinders on like a horse. He didn't even see you.
Even in the midst of Barack Obama's historic run for the White House, the new Black Panther Party rejects the idea that politics will provide any real change.
You know, somebody said, well, Barack will be the president. All right, black power. So what? Still don't erase this. 50 of us could be black presidents from now on. Still don't erase this. Still don't erase this. You didn't come in because you wanted to. We said we got progress because we can run for president. Man, black folks been running for everything.
In the early 21st century, we see considerable expansion of black economic, political prowess and the visibility and the diversity of black people in popular culture. And the proliferation of black people in various echelons of power speak to the progress that clearly has been made. And that doesn't mean that there aren't still vestiges of white supremacy. And for those reasons, there are vestiges of black nationalist sentiment.
I gotta tell the truth about America. America don't care about you, black man and woman. Anywhere you go, that the white man is there, the black man is at the bottom. You know it's true.
The Panthers are calling on the gathering crowd to show their disdain for the U.S. system by walking on the flag.
The red on this rag represents the blood of the people who was spilt being over here. The white represents the white man, the devil who brought you over here. Watch how many people are scared to step on that rag. You might as well step on it. It's been stepping on you for 400 years.
We're always in a war for the hearts and minds of black people, African people, because we all know July 4th just passed by. And we want people to understand, especially black people, to understand that we have no reason celebrating the independence that we don't possess. If we look around our neighborhoods where we live in the worst conditions, and this is supposed to be the best country. So how can we possibly begin to talk about independence when we're not even independent from European colonialism on any level, be it mental, physical, or spiritual?
The new Black Panther Party burns the flag to show their hatred for the U.S. government. They are calling for a new system of government for and by blacks.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you, America.
There you go. Death to F. Whitey's Independence Day.
Black power. Black power.
For the new Black Panthers, the flag is nothing more than a symbol of oppression.
Well, as a conscious person, I'm supposed to bust down idols. We're not supposed to hold anything up as idols. This here is an idol of a country that's been oppressing my people for hundreds of years.
I love being black. Black is beautiful. I live for the black. I die for the black. Black power.
Even as Americans begin to embrace the changing face of this nation, there are those who continue to perpetuate the idea that race will always divide us.
Let Barack Obama ride the white horse. Let him ride the white horse. Because that white horse, we know the history of America. That white horse is going to buck and throw the rider. And we'll be right here with our black horse, with the reins to take black people back in. As we know, they need leadership that speaks directly to them, not for everybody.
At the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves the question, how has the new Black Panther Party contributed to reconstitute a backward-looking moment that contributes to the confusion of our current moment? In my view, it's the latter. That doesn't mean it ought not to exist. It doesn't mean that the young men and women who are part of it aren't passionate about justice. I just think they're wrong. I think I would want them to use their energies in a much more prospective way, a forward-looking way, because not only do our people need it, but America needs it.
As the face of America continues to change, many voices seek to redefine black pride, black nationalism, and black liberation by reimagining the legacy of the Black Panthers.